Good day, class. Let us now discuss the last lesson for this unit, Lesson 5, the Code of Ethics for Counselors. After discussing the rights, responsibilities, and accountabilities of counselors, let's now talk about the Code of Ethics in which counselors subscribe to in the conduct or the practice of counseling. So I want you to get your notebooks and jot down key discussions in this topic so that we may be able to understand them better. Also write down or take note of the questions that may be formed during the course of this discussion so that we may be able to raise them and discuss them during our online classes. Again, my apologies if there are unnecessary background in the conduct of the recording of this lecture video. Alright, let's begin our discussion. With this in mind, I want you to discuss, or I want you to take note of this concept. There are ethical standards that must be facilitated in order to ensure a safe, helpful, and productive counseling experience for the client. In this lesson, we will discuss various considerations, activities, and behaviors that are in line with the Code of Ethics for Counselors. Therefore, in this lesson, our main objectives are the following. Identify ethical principles that counselors should employ in their practice and distinguish appropriate and ethical behaviors in practice. Now, with this lesson, we need to understand that there is a need for us to answer this essential question during the course of our discussion. What specific considerations does the Code of Ethics for Counselors promote? Now let's try to discuss the purpose of a Code of Ethics. It is to ensure that professional standards are maintained in practice and to give practitioners an opportunity to improve, direct, and assess their service quality based on a standardized rubric. So basically, what Code of Ethics provide is a standard of maintaining a particular practice of a discipline or profession. It is also an opportunity for us professionals to improve, direct, and assess the quality of our service based on this standardized rubric. Now, with that being said, let's now first talk about the counseling relationship. This is the professional relationship between the counselor and the client. The rapport should be established early on in the counseling relationship to open more opportunities for growth. In the counseling relationship, both the counselor and the client take active roles in addressing the client's issues. Take note that it is a give and take process. Let us try to check the illustration below. In the conditions for therapeutic change, there is a paradigm wherein unconditional positive regard, congruence, and empathy should meet all together. Now let's talk about confidentiality, privileged communication, and privacy. Confidentiality is a process that protects clients' privacy through appropriate safekeeping of records and through ensuring that such information is only accessible to the client. With the client's permission, it can be shared or disclosed to suitable professionals. Privacy refers to the client's right and need to control information about themselves. Now, here are the exceptions to privileged communication. When the client is a minor who has been experiencing any form of abuse at home, at school, or at work, or in the community. When the client's current functioning poses harm to themselves or to others. When the client's case is subjugated by any court of law for any legal case that requires these information to be released. When the clients request for their records to be released for personal purposes. Now, here are the different professional responsibility of a counselor. The counselor's professional responsibilities range from establishing a good working relationship with the client, providing regular feedback and assessment sessions, and conducting debriefings and follow-ups when necessary. Counselors may also attend to other professional responsibilities such as the following: presenting the client's case in court, partaking in continuing development activities, and holding administrative positions. Similar to other professions, counseling professionals are encouraged to widen their networks through participating in training, seminars, and workshops. The Code of Ethics encourages counselors to view fellow practitioners as colleagues in the field who work toward a unified goal and purpose. Evaluation, assessment, and interpretation can be viewed as the most objective aspects of the counseling process, and it should be. Counselors are expected to provide accurate and reliable results to any test that the client takes. This includes those that only include behavioral observations and counselor feedback. Now, why do you think it is important for counselors to keep the privacy of their clients? Ngano ka ha? Is it because dili pa ang mga marites nga counselors, or is it because we need to be ethical in the conduct of this process? Now, according to the Code of Ethics, counselors can engage in counseling supervision, training, and teaching. Counselors are expected to engage in research and publication initiatives that value participant safety, privacy, and beneficence. Ethical standards of research practice also require counselors to report accurate results using reliable and appropriate methodologies. At times, counselors may encounter issues that may be too difficult to resolve by themselves. Therefore, there are specific appropriate measures that might be mandated by the PGCA alongside with experts in the field on how to address such issues. They can also consult their colleagues on how to go about resolving the issue. Now, why do you think it is necessary for counseling professionals to regularly engage in continuing development programs? Now, with that being said, let's try to wrap up our discussion. The purpose of Code of Ethics is to ensure that professional standards are maintained in practice and that practitioners are given an opportunity to improve, direct, and assess their service quality based on a standardized rubric. The Code of Ethics for counselors includes provisions on the following: counseling relationship, confidentiality, privileged communication and privacy, professional responsibility, relationship with other professionals, evaluation, assessment and interpretation, supervision, training and teaching, research and publication, as well as resolving ethical issues. Now, how do we explain the issues in evaluation, assessment, and interpretation that can affect counseling goals and activities? Let's try to think of the different issues that may come along with the process of counseling and how do we resolve these issues. Now, with that being said, if there are questions that were formed during the course of this discussion, take note of them so that we can discuss them on the next parts of our online sessions. Thank you so much, and once again, keep safe and good day.